Hey everybody, it's Kathy Fielder, and I'm sitting in the middle of my manufacturing facility, and we're working on masks. And I was going to do a quick video to show you how you can construct a mask at home from materials that you probably already have. So first and foremost, you're going to get 3 pieces of fabric, and you're going to make them 6 by 9. You want to have an inner layer that is a non-woven fabric. So non-woven. A woven fabric will have a lot more space in between, and you want something that's going to filter in between. We've even done some research, and foil is something that I said that can be used, but we're also trying to keep it comfortable. It's very important to remember that this inner fabric is non-woven. It is kind of the way that you filter everything out, all these particles that everyone's trying to avoid. You're going to need elastic. Now, elastic is very hard to come by at this point because it's sold out almost everywhere. We're actually trying to source some from overseas. We've tried ponytail holders. They don't work. What you really need to find in your house is an elastic that is flat. That makes it sewable where you can catch and get that with your needle and thread. You obviously can sew these by hand or with a machine, but we went with the idea that in case you don't have a sewing machine, most everybody can procure a needle and a piece of thread. So make sure that you get flat. Technically, you would use 1/4 of an inch. This is a little bit bigger, but that's okay. It'll still work. So next, what you're going to do is you're going to cut 7-inch strips of these different elastics. And so we took this one here, cut it in 7 inches, and you need 7 inches that you're going to sew inside, because when you turn this, it will fit here over your ear. And you're going to take 7 inches. Within that 7 inches, you're going to have 1/2 inch on each side that you're going to sew into the seam. So you'll end up with about 6 inches. And everybody's face is a different size. So it's really, really important to remember that if you have a small head, small face, you're probably going to end up more at 5.5, maybe even 5 inches. A child maybe at 4.5. For a grown-up, a bigger man, he might end up needing 7. So you really have to kind of look at this, and we had to really play around with these dimensions. The point of a mask is that it fits, and it fits effectively. So you want it to be comfortable, not too tight, but you definitely want it to be fitted. And you're going to do this on both sides, not just on one. I just have this to be able to show it. You're going to take another piece of elastic just the same as this one. They go in towards each other because when you turn it outside, then it will go out so that it can loop over your ears. You're going to do the same thing on this side, and then you're going to pin these together same way on each end, and you're ready for the next step. Your next step is you're going to sew 1/4 of an inch the perimeter of this, making sure that you are catching that elastic that we just talked about, and you can see it right here. There's that piece of elastic. You're going to make sure you're catching that. That's why you need 1/2 inch on either side whenever you cut it, and you need to allow for that seam allowance. It's called a seam allowance. So you're going to stitch it all the way around, but you're going to leave about 2 inches open on this end, so that you're going to be able to turn it. Okay, so your next step after you have sewn the perimeter, you've left open 2 inches, you made sure you caught your elastic in your stitching. You are going to turn your mask. You're going to take the 2 like pieces that you had, and you are going, now this one isn't sewn together because we wanted to be able to show you. We'll show you a sewn one. And you're going to turn your mask. And that leads me to this piece. So this piece has been turned. We don't have the elastic on this end purposefully. When you turn this one that we just talked about with 2 pieces of elastic, you would see this like this, because we needed to show you how to make it pleated. We've actually worked with 2 pleats and 3 pleats, and we have found that 2 seems to fit the best with the sizing and really cover that face and give you the most coverage. You're going to do your pleats the same way. So make sure if you're pleating the same way. You're going to pin those 2 pleats. You'll have your elastic on this side, and you pleat this side exactly the same as you pleat this side. So the biggest part about this is you have to remember your last step is to make sure you stitch up that little 2-inch hole that you left in order to turn your mask. And so then you have your finished product. One thing that we did here is we ended up, this was too long for my mom. My mom, Mary, come on in. She's actually the genius that has helped us figure all this out and made so many different patterns. And so she realized this was too big for her, so she actually cut and then just stitched rather than having to make a whole new mask. And so there's your finished product. You can put it on. And as you can see, this fits Mary very well after she made those cuts, so that she's able to safely go about her business every day when she needs to be out and about during coronavirus. So there you have it. There's a way that you can make a mask from materials that you have in your home most likely, and you can help keep yourself safe during this extraordinary time. Stay well, friends.